Hello, all. Welcome to I Love Ruby. Today we'll be looking at a topic called safe navigation. So I have a program called safe navigation. I'll just explain it with few examples, okay, so that you will understand, right? So I just have a program called safe navigation, which I typed it in my text editor and I've saved it, right? And let me just execute it. Okay, so it just prints the robot name is Zygo, right? And yeah, like okay, the robot name is robot.name. So that's what it just prints, and it just checks for the condition if robot has name or not. Okay, so that's the thing, right? And okay, we have assigned a name as Zygote or something like that, and what to say like uh, we have uh, we have an attribute called name and robot and all those things. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So yeah, so if you just put robot.name, this zygote gets assigned to this name, and we can get it by this thing like robot.name, and it gets embedded in the string. First, it checks if the name exists, and then yeah, it just prints the string. So there is this name, and so it just prints. Okay, so if we have a nil or something like that, it doesn't print. Okay, so that's the thing, right? Okay, so it doesn't print. Okay, so that's the thing. And yeah, let me just change it to default. Okay, so that's the thing. So you could even do something like this one, right? So that's the thing, right? And it'll still work and all those things. But you just know this and symbol, and that's the thing, right? I'll explain to you why. Okay. So now let's type another program. Okay, so over here, let's name it as safe navigation 2, right? So okay. So let me put another program and name it like safe navigation 2. Over here, definitely, okay, let me just save it first, right? So in this program, okay, we had this class robot, we just had this robot is robot.new, and it had this attribute name and all those stuff, everything went well, okay, right? Let's say like for some reason this robot is null, like you're trying to take robot from some other place and it happens to be nil and all those things. It will happen in Ruby programs, okay? Possibly you're learning it, you might not realize, but in future you could have a condition where you think that okay you're working on some class or object, but in fact it could be some other thing, and it could be nil or something like that and all those things. So robot is nil, so definitely it has nothing name or something attributed with it, okay? And I'm just giving robot and name over here, right? Okay, so what happens over here is if I just put like ruby safe navigation 2.rb, right? Nothing happens. So you have been saved over here. So okay, let me just put this to right half, right? So okay, so nothing happens over here, right? And let me put this to left half, reduce, right? Okay, so nothing happens. So even though the nil doesn't have any attribute called name, it's still been saved. Okay, that is saved means like what? Like you've been rescued over here rather than throwing a nasty error or something like that. So let me just modify this program and keep it something like this. And now I'll just try this. Now you have a very nasty error. Okay, so that's the thing. So this and stuff over here is called a safe navigation, and it prevents you from some nasty errors. So that's the thing, right? And the program executes, the program terminates without any much fuss or something like that. So this is actually called safe navigation. Okay, right? And yeah, this is a very short video, but yeah, so that's why I'm just doing another thing also, right? So I want to cover the next topic also. So the next topic is like, yeah, um, it's called like breaking large programs. Okay, so here there is a big program, like kind of relatively big. Okay, so kind of 10 lines of code or something like that. Right? So yeah, so and I'm just naming it as breakful.rb, right? So Okay, let me just put it over here, right? So this is a program that could be broken. Okay, so like, yeah, let me just run it, right? Okay, Ruby break full.rb. Okay, so it says the square perimeter is 20. Okay, so we have a class square and it has the thing called side length. That is attribute called side length. And perimeter is nothing but side length into 4. So imagine a square, like if you just run all around the square and you would have ran 4 times the side length. Okay. So over here we have a variable called s, and we create s is nothing but instance of the square, and we just keep the side length is 5, and we just try to print the perimeter. The perimeter is whatever s dot perimeter. Okay, so that's the thing. S dot perimeter calls this one, and this takes side length, and the side length is 5. We defined it over here, so it gets stored in this instance variable, and that multiplied by 4. So 20 gets returned, and 20 gets substituted over here, and so the square perimeter is 20 gets printed. Okay, so yeah, so okay, yeah, this is a small program. Yeah, you can just manage it in one file. But imagine like when you're becoming a better Ruby programmer, you're creating large programs, and what to do in that case. Okay, so you can in fact break that program into many small files so that it becomes manageable. So let me just print. Let me just take this this alone. That is this class part alone, right? And put it into a file called breaksquare.rb. Yeah, it could be any file name. That's the thing, right? And so let me just copy paste it. Look, I'm just copying. Look, I'm a seasoned Ruby developer and all those things. I'm just copy paste and all those. I just do copy paste and all those things because it's okay for me. Like nobody is going to test my Ruby skills and all those things, and that's the thing. But for you, like it's better to type and then execute, right? So that you will create errors and you will learn from it. Okay. So that's the thing, right? And then I just have a thing called break main.rb. So all this break square contains is this class. Okay, so just very neat class, and that's it. So one file, just one thing in it. Okay, so that's the thing, right? And then I just have another thing called break main. So this is the main program, right? So let me just close all this stuff. Okay, this is the full program. Here is breaking into 2 parts. Okay, so that's the thing. So and this I need to rename it as break main. Okay, so yeah, so this I'm just putting it as break main. So this is the main program that needs to be executed, right? So this contains break square.rb, and we are using a keyword called require. Okay, so you can imagine like what this require will do is it will search for the square, like it will check whether there is a file called break square.rb. Yes, in the very same folder. This dot slash in Linux means in the very same folder. Okay, this is why I told you to go to this website linuxjourney.com and learn it. Okay, so that you will know. Not a Linux, it's Linux journey.com, and I would have even mentioned this website in my book if I am right. Okay, so this is section 13, right? Okay, I didn't put Linux journey or something like that. Yeah, I would have mentioned, yeah, linuxjourney.com, right? Yes. So why I would have mentioned this, like it is Linux is a very essential skill. No matter whatever programming languages you're doing, if you come to SaaS apps, you will deploy it on Linux. Okay, not only in Ruby, like no matter whatever programming languages you do, Python, JavaScript, and anything, right? So that's the thing. So this one, okay, checks for this breaksquare.rb in the very same folder, and there are. I'm just saving all programs in just one folder. So that folder name is like Ruby for videos. Okay, so that's the thing. And yeah, I've done a lot of programs over here, right? So that's the thing, right? Yeah. So and there is a program called breaksquare.rb. Okay, ls I can just grep it. Okay, and if I just put like break. Yeah, there is a program called breaksquare.rb, and there is a program called breakmain.rb. So in breakmain.rb, we are requiring this file breaksquare.rb. So it is as equivalent as copying the entire code over here and then putting it over here, right? Now I just put like the square dot new and s dot side length is equal to 5, and I'll just tell it to print the perimeter. So it just behaves just like this one. So what I just need to do is like, okay, like Ruby break main.rb, and that's the thing. So you can even break a program into 10 different files or something like that and bring it all into one main program, or one program like start.rb or some program like that where it will run everything and all those things. So yeah, that's it. So Ruby gives a way to break programs and organize it so that like it's it's not an ISO. Like if you have hundreds of lines of code in future in just one file, it'll be an ISO and what to say, and you might feel difficult to manage and all those stuff. So almost every programming languages have this way of letting you to break large programs into smaller programs. So yeah, and that's it. So possibly in next video we'll be looking at struct and open struct, and after that we'll be looking at Ruby documentation and all those things, right? So that's the thing. Actually, by finishing classes and objects, you have done a significant amount of programming. Like you are a kind of Ruby pro, in fact, right? But yeah, we also need to look at other things, the other nice goodies Ruby has given us, and all those things. Yeah, we will slowly look into it. That's okay. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and let's meet in next video.